this is why oftentimes, when there is a coup d'etat, the first thing the military does is to set aside the constitution. Because the constitution has information, has limitations, has directives, or has positions around how you use power and the extent to which you use power and what you do with the power. The constitution generally, there is no constitution that guides military regime, for instance. That is why they don't have laws. Under military regime, you have decree. But under a civilian regime, you have laws. And you have the constitution. You have regulatory powers. You have institutional powers that regulate, that administer, and so on and so forth. And that is what makes democracy democracy. It is not democracy simply because it is civilians in power and they're not military. It is democracy because democracy is supposed to be guided by certain laws, certain provisions, certain rules. There are limitations on how you exercise the power and to what extent you exercise the power. So successive regimes have severally issued executive powers in Nigeria, oftentimes with extra constitutional or extrajudicial implications. So because they say there's executive presidency, and then because they say that the constitution, and then they just look at one portion of the constitution that says you have executive power, and leave out that portion that says even this executive power is within the provision of the constitution. It's like the provision of that says that you can marry 1, 2, 3, or 4 wives, but then leaves out that bit that says that you should do justice. And the only thing they look at, they pick, I can marry 1, I can marry 2, 3, or 4. What about the area, that bit that says do justice? And it goes further to say, well, you are a human being, you cannot possibly do justice. The implication could be that in terms of interpretation, you have been given the carrot and you have been given the stick. Marry 2, 3, or 4. You think you can? Then you are human. The provision is you must do justice. And so if you cannot do justice, don't do it. Hello? And then they interpret it and say, well, it has also said that we are human, I cannot do justice, so it's not possible for me to do justice. So that is how, executive powers also interpret the constitution. They interpret the constitution in a way that also suits them. And so I just want to quickly go to certain examples, specific examples of how powers have been abused or have been abused by executive, authorities in Nigeria.